had potentially my greatest ever thrift store find today. I'm going to show it last. So if you don't like the suspense, skip to the last thing. I am feeling many things right now. I am happy and I am exhausted. And I want to put like a step counter on myself because I think I probably walked like 10-15 miles today. I'm just so tired. And didn't really buy any clothes, bought mostly other stuff, hard goods, small hard goods. I watched a bunch of videos last night about buying jewelry to resell, which is something that I know zero about, and therefore it is interesting to me. I'm trying to branch out as per many viewer recommendations and stuff I've seen in the past and stuff that I've been thinking about. Trying to get into jewelry and watches specifically, and maybe neckties if I can find them at the bins. Stuff that is really small that I can buy a lot of because I'm very limited on space. Stuff that's not clothing. So, let me show you what I got skis. Start out with some clothes, which I told you I didn't buy because you have been pranked and owned. Just look this up. It's worth like 50 bucks. It's a wool flannel skate shirt. And as I was checking out, I did notice a little bit. I thought I saw some staining right on the cuffs, but maybe not. Yeah, even basic stuff like this that wouldn't necessarily catch the eye, if it is something rare, and if it's something that has people's names on it, then maybe it's worth 50 bucks. This looks like trash, right? It's Stussy, and this one's probably worth 30. Got it for 6 bucks. I'm not looking for this kind of thing. I'm looking for the more expensive stuff, and then when I find stuff that is I know going to sell and be worth something and super high demand, etc., then I'll pick it up. So this is the first piece of, I guess, jewelry that I've bought with the intention to resell it. It's a belt buckle with Betty Page, everybody's favorite pog. And it's like an enameled thing. It's got a rose on it. I don't know if this is a custom. I think it is. I think this is a handcraft because I'm seeing layers of stuff that's been overlaid on top. There's a nice shot for you right there. So I didn't even look this up. Here's the back. It cost me 5 bucks. I feel like this is definitely going to sell for at least 20, probably upwards of that. I don't know. Is this worth 40 bucks? I feel like maybe it is. I'm not going for the Grand Slams. I'm just trying to get my feet wet and get a little bit of confidence and track record selling that stuff. I also got this. I don't know if this is a proper jewelry box or not, but it is now. I'm going to put stuff in this and then wait for it to sell. Right. This is from a Goodwill. This cost 3 bucks, and this actually, I just had this in the back of my head from watching some video forever ago about stuff to sell. I think it was probably Auction Professor. I watched some video like a year or 2 years ago about these, and that's the first time I found one, and I just happened to have that floating around in the back of my head. I don't know if you can properly see it. It might be washed out by my camera, but this is a antique slide rule that is made of bamboo. It's made in Japan. The brand is Sun Hemi Japan. And this is probably worth about 50 bucks. Sitting on a new merch cart. No one grabbed it. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm really looking for now. Something that is small, worth money, and is not clothing. I could not believe nobody grabbed this. There was a big mob scene on a new merch cart, and I ambled over, I don't know, 5-10 minutes later, because I was just not in the mood to fight people. This thing's worth minimum 150 bucks, even if it doesn't work. I haven't tested it. Maybe I'll put some batteries in it. It's a foot pedal loop thing. I don't know. This is an RC30 dual track looper from Boss. The cheapest one that is sold for 70, and then the next highest sold for 150. The rest of them are like 150, 200, 250. Yeah, so got that for $8. It didn't have a price on it. They took it back to the back, and I thought they were gonna bring it out for like 40 bucks, but $8. Here's the second piece of jewelry that I got. All the videos said you want to get really, really cheap stuff, or you want to get the when thrift stores pack a bunch of jewelry into a vase and then they sell it for 15, 20 bucks. Didn't see a single one of those, and jewelry is not cheap in LA, at least not at the thrift stores. And I am going to branch out into like garage sailing and estate sailing and all of the stuff that I promised, but I just did thrift stores today. I did go to a bunch of little smaller ones down Goodwills, etc., hoping to find some watches and jewelry, but it was kind of a bust. But it's all behind glass, so you have to ask to see all the individual stuff, and it's all at least $4 or $5. So this is the only other piece I picked up. The video that I watched said if you're a newbie, just go for organic materials, eye-catching weird stuff, and animals. So that's an eagle head. I don't know what exactly the material is. I think it might be horn or wood. And that should be an obvious difference, but it's not, at least not to me. It's got these, I think these are bone. I think those are bone beads. Plastic, and then this is leather. I figure, and it was $5. So this is hopefully going to appeal either to a Coachella type girl or somebody, an older woman who wears leather vests and etc. I feel like this has a lot of potential to it. That's just my rookie guess. Although I will say it's interesting, even as someone who knows nothing about jewelry. It's not hard to tell the difference between quality and non-quality. I mean, it's not that tough to figure out just by looking at something or feeling it if it's chintzy or if it's quality. And it 95% just garbage. It seemed like to me, to my uneducated eye and finger. There's another shirt. This thing's nuts. Look at this. It's a big size. It's this floral all over print. This is made in France. Never seen the brand before. It does have a human breast on it, which is a plus. I don't know. There's no track record for this brand, but something like this, my eye wouldn't let me leave it behind. I think this is probably going to be listed for around 80. See if someone grabs it. This is just a basic Fred Perry polo. Got it for $6. It'll flip for 25, 30. Those are great sellers. In terms of clothing, I'm just buying the stuff that's like a complete no-brainer for me. Like this. Went to an Out of the Closet, which is the second largest thrift chain in LA. That does it's a HIV/AIDS charity, and they do free HIV screening, and I am officially HIV negative. Hooray! this was weird. They this Out of the Closet, they were playing metal, and I don't really like that much metal music, but one of the bands I do like is Mastodon, this band Mastodon, and I recognized it, and they played. The guy behind the counter, I think, just put on a Mastodon CD, and I was flipping through the shirts, listening to Mastodon, and then I found this. This is the band, and I grabbed it and walked up to him, and I was like, "Hey, is this yours?" And we were both like, "What the fuck?" We had this moment together. So I don't even know if this is necessarily worth money, but I had to buy it because I felt like the universe was telling me to. It was $5. I don't know. That's definitely going to sell for 20. At least. I will not lose money on that. Here's a brand that I have found many times but haven't picked up because usually it has stains or holes. But I have bought one t-shirt, I listed it, and it sold like that. And every time I run the numbers on this brand, they are out of control. This one, Buck Mason Henley shirt, I think it was 7 actives and 35 sold. So I expect this to sell very quickly, $5 as well. I think this is the last piece of clothing. This was a roll of the dice, who knows. This is a Walking Dead limited edition polo shirt with a zombie emblem. On the chest, it says limited edition run of 250. And there's one on offer in Australia for $40 that no one's bought. But I don't know how many people in Australia watch Walking Dead. Well, probably a lot. But there's no available domestically, and I figure I could probably put this up for $50 and someone will grab it. I got it for, it was $8, so this was a little bit risky, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Oh, got these for $4. Let me show you. So one of the big recommendations, if you're getting into selling jewelry, multiple people said this, is you're supposed to get a magnet and carry it around with you, because precious metals will not stick to a magnet, but cheaper ones, a lot of them will. And I don't know what happened to it. Where'd it go? Have I lost my magnet? Anyway, it's like it's a toy magnet. It's this oblong magnet like this shape, and it fits right in my palm. And it was kind of funny. I was like, I need a magnet. I was thinking today, and then the universe provided. Here's 2 perfect hand-sized magnets for you. Okay, here's the big one. I'll just show you. Came out on a new merch cart at the first stop of the day at Goodwill. This is, if it sells for as much as I think it will, the most expensive thing I've ever found, with the highest margin of profit. Here it is. This stupid bowl with the Founding Fathers on it. I think that's the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Could be wrong. Probably says somewhere on it. Here's the brand. I looked this up. Got it for $4. The sold comps range anywhere from $300 to $400 for this bowl. For this bowl. For this bowl, $400. $400. I was elated. That was around 9:30 in the morning. So the dopamine has worn off a bit, if you couldn't tell. But I was floating for probably 2 hours. I mean, it just, this whole little experimental day really reminded me how much I love doing this and how fun it is and how grateful I am that I made the decision to do it and put in all the work to know how to do it and to have it be to a point where it is actually paying off and sustainable, and just to be able to do this fun, weird treasure hunt every day. So it made me a little sentimental and happy. I mean, really made me happy. This stuff makes you happy. I've never had another line of work that I've done that has moments of joy structurally built into it, where you just, not always, a lot of the time it's this dreary slog, and it's really competitive, and you're throwing elbows, and people are being shitty, people are being scary, it's dirty. I picked something up today that had actual human shit on it, which I haven't had happen in a while. I swear to God. But at least once or twice during the day, you're going to feel excited and happy, and you're going to have the good chemicals in your brain. So this was a success, big success. Even if none of that other stuff sells, if that bowl sells, it more than covered the cost of everything else, and probably one or two other hauls that I've had as well. And I'm gonna keep going forward. This weekend I'm gonna, oh, let me show you one more thing. This is great. This rules. So, oh, here it is. I was sitting on it. That's the magnet. So there's this little shop by my apartment that resells, they do liquidation arbitrage. So they buy liquidation pallets and then they sell it piecemeal in this little shop. And I found some decent stuff. I found a rod and reel there. And I haven't looked at a whole lot of their other stuff. It's mostly like really bad clothing. But I poke my head in there from time to time because I know that they do occasionally get fishing stuff, and I'm a fisherman. So deep in the trash can where they keep the broken rods and reels, I found this lodged in there. And I opened it up, and it was one of these, brand new. It was still packaged up. This is not much to look at, but these retail for $150, and I got it for $10. So I'm pretty happy with that. My brain tells me to resell this, but I don't think that I can let myself do that. I think I have to fish with it. So, shit. Okay. We're good. Almost dropped it. Okay, yeah. This weekend I'm gonna do some estate sailing, garage sailing, and maybe a swap meet. And gonna list stuff tomorrow and try to do some flat lays outdoors because it ends up looking better, and I no longer need to talk for this video. So cheers to you and yours.